This is the feedstock to physical AI. The expectation is it's going to be the largest industry in the history of the world. Well, rare earth magnets are essential.
This is a problem we have to solve for national security.
Today we're launching what will be known as Project Vault.
Project Vault is a new initiative from the White House to stockpile what's known as critical minerals in the United States as the country tries to move away from dependence on foreign nations, especially China. I'm Pippa Stevens. I cover energy and the mining and minerals sector here at CNBC. This just announced project is a $12 billion initiative. It's the first of its kind. It's a public-private partnership. $10 billion will be given by the Export-Import Bank in the form of a loan, and then the private sector will contribute about $1.67 billion. Now, the point of this is to ensure that domestic manufacturers, they have access to the critical minerals that are necessary. A number of companies have already signed on to Project Vault, including GM, Stellantis, Boeing, GE Vernova, Alphabet. And the idea here is that they will be able to buy these critical minerals at a set price into the future, and so will insulate them from supply shocks. What we've seen before is that since critical mineral markets can be very small, there can be massive price appreciations in a very short period of time, which changes the cost inputs for manufacturers. And so Project Vault would ensure that they can buy these critical minerals at a steady rate. Project Vault will include all of the minerals identified as critical by the U.S. Geological Survey. So this list is more than 50 minerals, includes a lot of things you probably never heard of, but then also things like lithium, cobalt, gallium, uranium, copper. They're instrumental to so many applications that we use every single day. Everything from fighter jets to cars to wind turbines to even your cell phone. And so there is a growing push to make sure that equipment manufacturers in the U.S. have access to all of these minerals that are vital for the products that they're making. The U.S. administration has put a particular focus on rare earths, given their importance to defense applications. Even though they're called rare earths, they're not actually rare. There's an abundance of supply, but just getting it out of the ground is what's so difficult. The U.S. was the world's largest supplier, but then China shored up their refining industries especially, and then it became cheaper to send things abroad. What we've seen is that a lot of these critical mineral supply chains are heavily concentrated in one country or a few countries. China is essentially the world supplier of critical minerals. They process more than 90% of the world's rare earths. What China did was that they invested heavily over the last 10 to 20 years in the processing elements specifically, so that even if they don't actually have the mineral itself within the country, a lot of the time it's sent to China to be refined and processed. We've had China curb exports of some of these key inputs. And so the US and other countries are saying, well, if they were to cut off all of their exports, what would we do? The United States already has a stockpile of critical minerals, but that's for the Department of Defense. And so what's different about Project Vault is that this is specifically for the private sector. What the U.S. is hoping is that this will also provide a demand signal for Western miners to increase their operations in the United States. Mining is a very capital-intensive and expensive industry, and so if they do have this sort of price signal and support on the manufacturing side, the theory is that then they might be incentivized to increase their operations and invest heavily so that it will pay off for years to come.